Bite-Sized Learning. I'm Jill. Today we're going to talk about using the quizzes tool within D2L. So this is a great tool, and what I really like about it is it allows us to automatically provide students with multiple opportunities to do the quiz. It's all about the settings that we choose. So I'm going to start at the very beginning and walk us through it. I am going to go to assessment. I'm going to then come to quizzes. Now it will show me the quizzes I've created. When the little eyeball with the line through it is there, it's invisible. When there is the little, looks like a prize thing is there, it means it's a graded quiz. These are the quizzes I've already created. It also shows me that one person has completed this quiz so that I can see under published. Well, I want to make a new quiz. So there's the new quiz button. Other things that we have here is there's a question library. So the question library brings us to a library of questions we can import and look at. That's a different place. We're not going to really spend too much time there. I'm going to go back here. Under more actions, you'll see things like I could add learning objectives. I can reorder things. I can hide things from users. So those are different pieces. We're just going to keep it simple today. New quiz. So I've clicked on new quiz. First thing I want to do is I want to name my quiz. I'm going to name it parts of speech. So I've got that. I can add a category to it. So I already have an existing category, Unit 1, or I can create a new one. I'm going to call my category writing. I like that category there. So I've got that. You can see it's been added. Now it tells me this quiz is empty because there's no questions. I can add or edit questions with this button. So I'm going to go to add question. I have add or import. Because I've done nothing with the library, I'm going to ignore the input. I'm going to go to add. And I have choice. I can add new question. And there's lots of different types built in. True and false, multiple choice, multiple select, written answer, short answer, multi-short answer, fill in the blank, matching, ordering, arithmetic, and significant figures. So I've got that. Also, when I look at add, I can add a new section or a question pool. So I have a variety of things I can choose from. I'm going to go with new question, and I'll go with true and false. So it tells me the type. If I picked the wrong one by mistake, I still have this drop-down menu to change it. I also have options here. I can add feedback, add a hint, add a short description. So all of those are helpful things. So my question is, dog a noun? And I put the answer, which is true. I want it to be worth 1 point. I can hit save and then it'll take me out of there. Or I can hit save and new. I could also do save and copy if I want the same question. I'm going to go save and new. And for this one, maybe I'm going to choose a multiple choice. So it's an easy, quick there. Which of these is a noun? Let's see. Got those there, and I can choose the correct answer. If I want to add a hint, the hint, it says hints are off in this quiz setting. It means it reminds me to turn that on later, but I can do this and I can add the hint is a noun is a person, a place or thing. So I could add that little hint there. You'll notice I have other options. I could bold it, italicize it, underline it. I could add an image. So a wide variety of options that way. I can add answers if I want more than 4 multiple choice. I can also randomize the order so that different students see it in a different order. And when I'm done, these are all my questions I'm going to ask today. I'm going to hit save. So I've got these here. I've got my 2 questions. Looks pretty good. I've got all my questions. I want to go back to settings for my part of speech quiz. So I can see I've got all these elements. There's description. I could add a description to it. I can add a little video note. I can insert stuff, a link if I want to. I could add an introduction to the quiz. I could add a header or a footer. here is the optional advanced properties. Remember I added a hint? I'm going to go allow hint. I could also disable right click, disable pager and alerts, and I can add some email notifications. So that's the basic setup. So I've got my basic setup. Then I have the restrictions. The restrictions, I can give it a due date, a start date, and an end date. If I give it a start date, it's not available to students until that date has occurred. If there's an end date, it becomes no longer available after a certain date. That's up to me. I can also hide my quiz from the users. I'm not going to hide it. I can add other release conditions if that's something I'm using. I can recommend a time limit or enforce it. So that enforced time limit would then time out the quiz when it's done. I can also, if I'm using the group tools, only allow certain groups in my VLE to use the quiz tool. Up to me. So I've got lots of options there. Assessment. I can allow attempt to be set as a graded immediately upon completion. So it would auto grade it and put it into my grade book. Then for graded item, it's not a graded item right now, but I can add it and make it a graded item. So I go add graded item, parts of speech quiz. I can give it a short name as well. I can add it to a grading category if I've set those up for myself. A maximum amount of points. Now, interestingly there, I only have two points, so it's only going to have 2. I could add that it could exceed or have bonuses. I could also exclude it from final grade calculation so that it's actually just formative then. It just gives me the information. Right now, the default grading scheme is a percentage, but I could make it so that it is levels as well. So there's lots of options there. I can hit save. I can also allow them to export it to their portfolio. And attempts allowed. I can give them unlimited attempts, 1 attempt, up to 10 attempts. So it's really up to me. I love the idea of unlimited, especially if it's something I'm going to use as just a formative for learning piece. They can keep trying until they get 100%. They can keep going back. And I think that works really well too with the hints pieces because it can help them build up that confidence. I can also add objectives, and that's where I can associate it with certain learning objectives. I can go through that process. Submission views. So right now it's at a default that the students see their submissions immediately. I can alter these as well, and I can set a report setup for myself. So there's a lot happening there. Whew. I've got it. I'm ready. My quiz is good to go. I'm going to go save and close. And now I come back and I can see that my parts of speech quiz is here. It's ready for marking. I could choose to hide from the users. I can preview it. I can delete it. I can look at the statistics later on. Lots of options. The next thing I want to do is I want to make it available to my students. So I can either post a link to it in my activity feed. I can post it to my content if it's to go with a specific unit. And I go through that process just the same way I do with anything else. If I'm going in content, I select a unit. I go to add to existing. And I choose quiz this time. And it gives me my 3 quizzes. I click on it. And I've got it here. I unhide it. And it's now visible for my students. If I want to make it into my activity feed, I do the same thing I always do with existing content. I go to my post and I go to the attach and I choose attach link from existing activity. And I look here and I go down until I find quizzes. Quizzes is here. Click on it. There it is, parts of speech. And I can post it. Oh, I have to tell them to do this. Please do the quiz. And it's available for my students. If you'd like to see what it looks like in student view, which is always a nice option to do, view as a student, I can see what comes up here. Look at this, the quiz is here. I'm viewing as a student. I can see the first thing is they get the details of who's doing it. Oh, I have unlimited time. That's great. I can start the quiz. I can even do the quiz as a student. Is dog a noun? Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. I'm going to hit false. Oh, there's a hint for this one because I'm not really sure. A noun is a person, place, or thing. I can realize now that I made an error in question 1 and choose question 2 and submit the quiz. And it gives me, you're about to submit your quiz. You cannot, undo that once you do it. So submit the quiz and done. And it tells me I got 2 out of 2. So good for me. I did a good job. But if I want to, it shows me I had 1 attempt at that quiz. What if I want to attempt it again? Can I? Well, my teacher gave me unlimited attempts. Yes, I can. So I can go back. It tells me I have unlimited attempts. It tells me I've already done it once. But I can go back and say, hey, I'd like to do this again. And the questions are there. And I can learn there from my opportunities. And I can, again, just have updated answers. I can submit my quiz, submit the quiz, and it tells me again that how I did. So, and it keeps a record, and I have this record as well as the teacher gets the same record as the student. So you know how many times. So if a student or several students are attempting a quiz multiple times, hey, maybe I want to take a look at or review that concept. So the quizzes tool is a great option. Thanks to everybody who suggested I make a video on the quizzes tool. I had a lot of fun learning how to use it and making the video. If you want to connect with us, suggest a topic, or give us some feedback, please send us an email, follow us on Twitter, or check out our website.